Yeah, look, I think during the day we saw the odd ball turn quite a bit, but outside of that it looked a pretty good pitch. And we saw tonight, obviously, the way we played, the boundaries that we hit, it still looks a good pitch. So I don't think anything will change too much tomorrow. Yeah, look, look, we can't deny that. It obviously happened. Something that we're obviously working on. We'll continue to work on. No one means to drop catches, but when bowlers are working hard to create opportunities, you've got to take those opportunities. So it's something that we'll look to address, obviously, moving forward.
Did you spot any?
No, look, I think being a slipper, it's a difficult job. It's not easy, but a lot of that is anticipation and expectation. So it's expecting the ball to come to you every ball. So unless you've got that mindset, it does make it a bit difficult. But it's something for us. I think the more you practice it and the more you challenge yourself around that practice, give yourself a better chance when it comes in a game or game situation. Yeah, well, Zakia, I've actually thought Joy was, Deepu was the one I thought was going to have the best chance of getting it. Unfortunately, both those field at short leg, so their reactions are pretty good. So I actually thought when it popped up that one of them would have been able to get it, but unfortunately not. But you don't see that too often. It can be a challenge, and obviously as an opening batter, that's something that you have to manage and deal with. I think the key bit is to try and break it down into compartments and say, well, okay, I haven't got much to maybe accomplish tonight, but I'm trying to set myself up for tomorrow. But one way of doing it is say, I think tonight, what was it, 11, 12 overs. So if you split that in half, so that's 36 balls. So I'm going to face 36 balls tonight. So really sort of tick down one ball at a time to get yourself through that. But that's all openers around the world will go through that situation in Test cricket or first-class cricket because it's a common occurrence. So the players are used to that. It's just getting your head around that's the most important thing.
So last one.
Yeah, no, I don't have to get a stick out and hit him. Last week he was excellent first innings, and tonight when we sort of floated the idea with him, he said yes, he's happy to do it. So it's not an issue at all. So he wants to do it, and he's happy to do it. So from our point of view, then that's fine. Well, for us personally, we're still thinking about winning the game. So how do we win the game from this situation? Now that might seem a bit bizarre considering we're 480 runs behind, but the key bit for me is the first things we've got to do is negotiate tomorrow, and if we do that well, then we come back and negotiate the day after. And if we do that from a batting point of view, then you never know what can happen. But first things first, we've got to make sure that we turn up and we bat well for 3 sessions tomorrow, and then see where we're at tomorrow night, and then look forward to day 4. So we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves. As it's a long way behind in terms of runs, but you have to think about how can you win the game from this situation. So that's what we're obviously be focusing on. And no, it's not. I don't think it's left hand, right hand. It's more around the personnel, so that we feel that they're the personnel to do the job at the moment. In terms of the partnerships, I think they both played really well tonight. They were positive in terms of scoring opportunities, but they were also disciplined and applied themselves to balls that were in challenging areas, which. If you think about last week, we didn't negotiate well enough. So I think that for me is a big move forward from where we were last week. Something that we talked about and something that we practiced well the last in terms of the 3 days leading in. I thought obviously disappointed the dismissal of Joy. Would have been nice to have been none down overnight. But say they're a young sort of partnership in terms of. Their time together as a pair, so that takes a bit of time for them to get into it. But it's more around, as I say, just pleased with the way they applied themselves in terms of taking those scoring opportunities, putting the pressure on the bowler, and also the rotation of strike, which is important. So there's some good drop and runs, so the bowlers aren't just purely bowling at one batter, so they have to keep adjusting, and that's obviously an important part of batsmanship. In terms of stringing a total together. Look, the new ball, we obviously work on the new ball a lot. The new ball is a threat, whether you're left hand or right hand, because of what it does. That's all the movement that it potentially gets. So the players practice a lot against the new ball, whether it's our actual bowlers or flingers. So it's just that's just continuous preparation and work on. So are you getting better? Are you making better judgments? Are you still taking those scoring opportunities? Are your feet moving forward or back? Are you applying yourself to the surface that you're on? So it's a continuous evolvement of your game, and both those two reflect honestly in terms of their performance, and they're trying to move their games forward, which is the key thing, and again something that we talk about doing as a group. Yeah, I think they can, because I think they're good players. But again, as you said, the key bit is the application. So it's decision making. I've already alluded to it. It's recognising balls to attack, balls to negotiate, whether you're defending or leaving. And that's the big thing. The best players in the world and the best teams in the world, their groups of batters make good decisions for longer periods of time. So you can't get away from that. That's just fact. But the important thing is that you're trying to put pressure onto the bowler, because you want the bowler running in knowing if he gets it wrong, you're going to climb over a scoring opportunity. So that's always going to be at front of mind, but you still need to make good decisions.
Coach, do you think
from what we saw tonight, I think the surface, as I said today, there were a few balls that spun and bounced a little bit, but they weren't. It wasn't that consistent, so it was quite sporadic. But from what we saw in our little period tonight, the ball didn't do a great deal. Quite a good surface still to bat on, so we expect that to be the same tomorrow.
For more updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Download TSports app to enjoy exciting games and highlights. Visit tsports.com.